Hey everyone, welcome back to a WIP and chat. What used to be WIP Wednesday is now just going to be WIP of the week. I actually got that the name from Debbie from Color Me Stress Free, but yeah, I used to do WIP Wednesday every Wednesday. A lot of you who have followed me for a while know that, and it just became almost like a chore. Or I would feel too much pressure, like, oh my gosh, Wednesday's coming up, I need to record a WIP Wednesday. And then I just didn't feel like doing them anymore. So I wanted to get back to doing like a WIP and chat at least once a week, but I didn't want it to have to be on a Wednesday specifically or anything like that, especially with summer now and my son's soccer. I kind of felt like putting a day on it was just asking for trouble. So we're calling it WIP of the Week and Chat. Right now, I am working on this beautiful image. It is from Mystic Art Mirror's latest book, The Galaxy Girls. I'll leave a link in the description below. I think the ebook, I can't remember how much it was, but I bought the PDF book. You can, of course, get her books printed. They are printed beautifully, but expensive. I am using Arrtx because I am creating a color along on my other channel. So I wanted to use some Arrtx for that one. I'm not really the biggest Arrtx fan, but I have quite a few requests to make some videos with Arrtx. So here I am. But yeah, so I guess it's been a while. I mean, I catch you guys up in live streams on Sunday when I can. And I've kind of been alternating my weekly or my weeknight streams between this channel and my diamond painting channel. This week is actually the diamond painting channel one. It really depends on what I feel like doing. If I feel like streaming coloring, then I'll just stream that week. The day kind of varies because it depends on my son's soccer. And I need to make sure I have my husband off duty so someone's watching the kids. But yeah, they seem to land on Tuesdays or Wednesdays most of the time, but who knows. Let's just say my midweek live stream has no permanent date. But anyway, it is summer. Kids are out of school and home all day. My 10-year-old broke her arm at the end of May. The week school got out, so the last week of school, she broke her humerus. And unfortunately, it is too high up to cast, so she's been recovering in a sling. And, well, it sucks because if she had a cast, she could go like do stuff, but because she has a break and it's in a sling, well, she's pretty limited because there's nothing protecting it. And it was a deformed break. Like, it's healing now. We got past the stage where if it didn't start healing, they would be doing surgery. So whew on that one. But yeah, she's still in the sling for a little while, and it's very sore. And because it was a deformed break, she's got like look, we'll use this little gal. So right here is like about where she broke it. And so like there's a huge bump forming, and that's where the bone is fusing back together. And with kids, they don't worry about that. I mean, there's a huge bump of new bone. But as she gets older and grows and her bones lengthen, they'll kind of correct that deformity themselves. But for her, it's going to feel like a lifetime. But he said it just takes like a couple years. If they operated, though, it would have been years, or basically until she was an adult, of a lot of surgeries and rehab, and it just, yeah, not worth it. So I'm glad we're not operating, but we've got that going on. My son made 2 comp soccer teams, which is insanity. One was busy enough, but when he went to this year's tryouts, you can only play for the one club. However, the team in his age group in our club in a higher division wanted him on their team, but his old team also wanted him, which was in a lower division. And so, you know, he could have just gone to the higher division team, but the coaches gave him an option because they didn't want to poach from one another, but they just said, you know, would you want to double roster for both teams? And me, not thinking ahead, I was like, yeah, sure, go ahead, double roster. But that now means he plays games for both teams. He'll be in tournaments for both teams and practices for both teams. So if I didn't have enough soccer in my life last year, I'm gonna this year. So we'll see how that goes. It's already begun with the practices. We've got tournaments that start in July. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be nuts. So yeah, I've got that. My youngest is in gymnastics, but she is right now currently in California with my mother, visiting family. So I'm down to just 2 kids and 4 huskies. But things have been kind of wacky here, and it's really been hard to find a rhythm to even sit down and film like these WIP and chats. So it's been a little bit now. As we all know, ChatGPT came out with some great updates. I use great with big sarcasm, by the way. Some updates in December, and since then, the company I was working for, just slowly our orders kept going down, and more of our clients were swapping over to ChatGPT or other AI tools like it, and it just kept getting slower and slower. So luckily, instead of completely laying me off, I've been moved to part-time. However, it still is quite the blow to the budget. I was the breadwinner per se. I absolutely despise that phrasing, but I was the one making most of our income. So for me to lose half of my income, as anyone could imagine, is a pretty gnarly toll on the budget, especially when we just had to pay for a comp soccer re-up. But so yeah, that happened in May, and it's kind of like thrown me off because I'm a very routine oriented type of gal. So I'm like been struggling to find a routine with the kids out of school, but also only working 5 hours instead of 8 to 10 a day. And yeah, just working around that. And then I have been putting more time into my channel. You might have noticed because I'm posting videos more often. But I also launched 2 other channels. No, I'm sorry, 3 channels as well. So I moved all my watercolor to a watercolor only channel because I know not everyone is here for watercolor. Most people are here for adult coloring. Granted, a lot of you enjoy both on my channel, but it was just easier to move it to its own channel and have its cozy little place. Same with like my diamond painting. I've moved. And then I did create another channel that has just complete silent color alongs. And that's all that's going to be on it. Full length color alongs in silence. So you can follow along and all that. And then, yeah, if I want to do a color along on this channel and be chatty, I can be chatty here. But I have that channel. I ended up, so I have been making my own diamond painting wax for a little while now. And that's just because I've either I don't like the pink wax at all. Just weird texture, funkiness. I'm not a fan of the pink wax or blue or any of the colors. But I tried some other, like, handmade waxes, and they weren't bad, but they would either be too strong in smell or didn't quite have the consistency I liked. I'm a hard presser with my gems and stuff, drills, whatever you want to call them. I press pretty hard, so I need something that can stand up to that and not smush and leave residue. But then also, I just didn't want stuff that was so strongly smelling, because I get migraines from that stuff. So I had made my own, and then I decided, well, hey, now that my job is cut back, maybe I'll try selling my diamond painting wax. So I opened an Etsy store. It's called Pure Bliss Wax Company. And I have diamond painting wax up there, my diamond painting putty, and then I also have wax melts. The kind you put in a little warmer and they melt like Scentsies, only these are better, not commercialized. But yeah, so I started that, and it's actually been going really, really well. So that's been really nice. Like, I've been getting messages from people who, place orders and have received them. And oh my gosh, my heart, like, I get into panic mode every time it says you have a message from so-and-so about their order. I'm like, oh my gosh, did something go wrong with it? Like, it's a lot of pressure. But they'll just be like, oh, I love this so much. Thank you. And they're reordering. And so, yeah, it's moving along. And it's not really denting the loss in salary from my job, but it's something, right? And it keeps me busy. But yeah, I'm having fun with that. Plus, I'm like coming up with new like smells, and then the wax melts are always fun. I've always made my own wax melts just because, again, I need certain scents because I'm sensitive to others. But yeah, so if you do need diamond painting wax or putty, check out my Etsy store. I'll leave a link in the description below. So I've been doing that. I actually might start making diamond painting pens. We have a wooden lathe, so I might start playing around with it and making some pens on the wood turner. We'll see, but I don't know, just trying to find, I guess, a path. It's weird when you've been in a job for so long that you don't know what to do with yourself. And yeah, it's just, it's also really crappy when a AI takes over your job. AI didn't take over my job exactly, but it killed my industry that my job was in. So yeah, that's what it is. But still, it sucks nonetheless, because I've been in this, working for this company once as a freelancer and then as an employee, but almost 10 years. So it's quite a big chunk of time. And sadly, I don't know if it's going to last. I have a feeling as AI continues to improve and learn, which is freaky, it'll probably make the industry that I work for completely irrelevant here soon, is my thought. I'm not trying to be like a negative Nancy. It's just, yeah, that's how I see it going. So that's why I'm trying to find something else to do, but nobody wants to change careers entirely at 40, close to 40. I'm not 40 yet, but I'm close. I'm on the brink. So yeah, it's just been weird. A weird couple weeks, kid with a broken arm, job. I haven't had time to go work for our dog trainer because I've just, with the kids home for summer and then my daughter's broken arm, I just don't have the time. And we are boarding dogs, but not as frequently because one of my huskies is rebelling. She does not enjoy the boarding dogs. So I'm having to retrain her because she's having a lot of issues. Siberians are just a very emotional breed. It's like having a freaking teenage daughter. If only I've got 4 of them. But yeah, I have one acting out really bad right now, and I've got to nip that in the bud before I take any more boarding dogs. So that's kind of on hold. And it's been kind of hard to do considering I still work part-time for my other job, and I've got my channels and now my Etsy. So I don't know, like I'm trying to basically just find my path, and I have no idea where to go. I am going to start making watercolors though. That'll be fun. Maybe I'll sell those. But yeah, the diamond painting, wax, and putty right now I've been focusing on, and then like I said, I might start making pens. Then I can finally get pens in the colors I actually want them to. Make myself some. I don't know why I've never done that. It's out there in the garage. I think the only thing I need is to buy a buffer, but that's pretty easy. But yeah, so I'll probably start doing that. And then I just want to focus on my channels and have some fun with it. Not make my channels a job. That would kind of kill the point of my channels and whatnot, but definitely have to find something. The bills don't pay for themselves, now do they? So, yeah, it's just been really stressful, and so it's been hard to sit down. Like, I've been so stressed that it's hard to just sit down and concentrate. Like, I've actually struggled just to color pages. Like, my June completed pages video, I don't even know if I'm gonna bother. It's so, yeah, I've got so many WIPs, because I'll just start a page because something on that page jumps out to me, and I'm like, ooh, I really want to color that. But after I've colored that thing that jumped out to me, nothing else really interests me, and I feel like I'm forcing it, so I put the page aside. You know, I want to diamond paint, but then, like, I want to also sit in bed, and I can't diamond paint in bed. I've tried a million things to make it work, and it's just not gonna work. It's too cumbersome. You need a desk. It's just the reality. But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to sit here and lay in bed. I can't be laying in bed. Yeah. So that's where I'm at. I'm just very wacky and stressed out at the moment. And, you know, it's okay to have WIPs. That's one thing I want to say. Because I know a lot of us, like, will sit there and feel guilty, you know, oh, I started this page and never finished it. But you know what? If you didn't finish it, you didn't finish it for a reason. And that's okay. Like, why is there so much guilt and negative stigma put on WIPs? Like, it's just, I mean, if that's really how you want to feel, that's okay. But, I mean, there's worse things in life than having a few too many WIPs. You know, just my thought. So lately, I'm just not caring if I end up having a bunch of WIPs. So be it. I mean, but my completed pages will be more like my non-completed pages. I don't know. It's all right though. And then I've just been thinking of like content, and I'm working through all of the watercolor pencils because now I have the free time to do so. So I'm working my way through those and doing reviews so I can do the final battle. But yeah, like, it's just, I'm in a definite rut right now because I just don't have a path, and I absolutely hate not knowing where I'm going or what I should be doing. But the Etsy store is working out, and hopefully that gives me like a little fun side job to do. And of course, it's diamond painting, so at least I can't be replaced by AI on that one. Speaking of, I mean, there's so many artists lately I've noticed really struggling because the AI books are just oversaturating Amazon. I'm actually quite surprised Amazon's allowing it. Because I had thought of doing some coloring pages, and I do have some. And by that I mean 2. So far, I have quite a few on my iPad. I just haven't finished them, and honestly, I'm too lazy to just upload them, but I do have another Etsy store with some adult coloring pages, and I need to upload the others. Like, this, it's actually pretty pathetic. I just need to upload them, but I'm like, oh, I can't be bothered with this. So, I don't know. I definitely need to get those up there, but I've noticed quite a few artists, are struggling because on Amazon, oh my gosh, I look on Amazon at coloring books and they're just like all AI. It's like, no. And some are just copies, and worse, it's AI, so it's got some wacky features, right? Like someone will have like 6 fingers or a finger in their hair or something really weird, and you're like, what the? And then they're printed on the crappy Create Space paper. So, but I know the talk of AI has been in the adult coloring community, art community, and there's a lot of people who are like boycotting it, or shaming people who use AI or even color an AI generated picture. So I'll give you my 2 cents. However you want to see it. The fact of the matter is, AI is here and it ain't going away. So boycotting it really is not going to do anything. However, that said, I prefer and will always prefer to buy an image created by a human and not a computer. But I'm not going to shame anyone who does buy AI generated adult coloring pages, because the point of adult coloring is to do something that helps you relax and you have fun and you enjoy it. So I'm not going to shame you for coloring a picture you enjoy just because a robot made it. Or I should say computer coding made it, but that's my take on it. But I do feel bad for the artists who are suffering, because now even Etsy, gosh, there's so many adult coloring pages on there, and you can tell they're AI. And then I had an artist that I really loved and used to buy her pages, but now she's using AI so that she can make pages faster and easier. And so I'm not buying hers anymore, simply because, well, 1, it totally changed her style, but 2, now it just looks like all the other AI things out there. So I was like, well, but again, I'm not going to shame anyone, or if, I have companies that send me their books and their AI, like Rachel Mintz is AI, and they've been around forever. I don't think people realize that. None of those were hand-drawn by any means. They've been AI for a while. However, they admit it. So I basically give kudos to those who are, open and say this was generated by AI. Because when they don't, that's when it's kind of shady. But yeah, I mean, I'm still, obviously, like, I bought this from Mystic Art Mirrors. I'm buying a bunch of artist edition Hannah Lynn's, and I'm just sticking to like the artists I love and trying to support them and buy their books. But I feel bad because I know a lot of them are competing against a market where these coloring books are coming out and they're offered really cheap. Like, some will even offer these coloring pages for like $1 on Etsy, or like 100 coloring pages for $7.99 on Amazon. But it's not, the quality isn't there, the artistry isn't there. But it's hard to compete with that, when it takes hours of your life to draw something by hand, and yeah, it's just, it sucks. But as someone who has taken a severe hit to their income because of AI, I get the frustration, but I'm not going to shame anyone for using it because who am I to judge? If it makes someone happy to color that, like there was one book I downloaded because just had these super cute girls with hair. I literally just wanted the hair. And I bought those, but at the same time I also bought every single Lana Green image in that same purchase. So I think we're even. But again, this is coming from someone who's lost their job due to AI, and yeah, I just think it's being a little bit too judgy in some aspects. Now, the AI, the one thing about AI is it's obviously generating an image by compiling images already out there. So technically it could compile stolen artwork in a way, because it's taking artwork that's already out there and creating that image. It's not drawing it itself. It is not, in fact, an artist. But, so I can see where that part gets frustrating. And I hope that they'll be able to fix that so plagiarism isn't as big of a deal. But how else will AI create anything, really? Because it just takes code and generates what's already out there based on keywords in your prompts. So it's kind of a funky tool, but I don't know. It's here. It's gonna stay. It's only gonna get worse, I'm sure. So I don't even know if my job will be here by the end of the year, but at least AI cannot create YouTube videos. It can create thumbnails, scripts, and do quite a bit, but it can't do what I'm doing right this very second, talking to you and coloring a page, yet. So I'm gonna hold on to that, because once that part goes, then I guess, well, that's it. And also it can't make the diamond painting wax, so that's why I've been sticking with it, because I'm like, well, hey, AI can't make diamond painting wax yet. I mean, companies that sell it in bulk, I guess, do have robots probably making it, but, or automation systems of some kind, but still. So yeah, that's where I've been lately. And I'm just so scatterbrained. I'm trying everything because I'm normally a highly productive person, but I have just been like feeling so lost, and like everything is chaotic right now, and I just can't find my groove. So I was like, oh yeah, let's film WIP Wednesdays when I'm, a hot mess. But that's why we're just gonna call it WIP of the Week. And I'll try to post them weekly just to keep you guys updated on what's going on. Because I know quite a few of you have mentioned you missed WIP Wednesdays and was, wondering when they would be back. So that's why I thought, okay, I will bring it back, but just as a weekly WIP and chat type of thing. And that's how we'll go for now. But yeah, I'm hoping my daughter's arm starts feeling better soon. She wants to go back to ballet. Oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm gonna do it with all the sports. And everyone's sports are landing on the same day. My son's soccer is on the same day as my daughter's gymnastics. And then my daughter with a broken arm is going to go back to ballet. Once we get her, a clear, she'll go and just do floor work, basically ballet while on the floor, so that she doesn't lose progress. But when I called to talk to the studio, guess what day the best class time would be for her to go? It's the same day my son and daughter both have soccer and gymnastics, and literally starts at the same time. So I was like, oh, for Pete's sake. So yeah, I've got to find a way to work that madness. I told my son I was like, you're probably going to have to get dropped off at soccer like an hour early and just kick it at the park. I don't know. he gets a permit this year, but no license yet. But I mean, at least one more year, and then at least he could drive himself to all these practices. That would really help me a bunches, because I'm like, oh my gosh. So yeah, we'll see how that goes, but it's definitely going to be chaotic around here. But yeah, so I guess I'm trying to keep, or I want to keep the WIP and chats short-ish, but I actually have to go make some blanks and try running some pens through my lathe and see how they work out. But do check out my Etsy store if you diamond paint, or if you just want some wax melts. I had originally started it for like aromatherapy wax melts, but then I just decided to recycle it and add in diamond painting wax, because I already got the waxes and stuff here, so might as well. But definitely check that out if you need diamond painting wax or putty. Love if you could. I am going to be coming out with some cool things starting next month, including boxes of the month. So it'll have like a scent of the month with all these accessories, and I've even teamed up with a few creators, like someone that makes custom diamond painting trays. So it's gonna be pretty cool, actually. I'm having a little fun with that. And then yeah, check out my other YouTube channels if you want. If you go to my homepage, I believe, and scroll down, it'll say other channels, and you can see all the other channels I own or run or featured, or however the heck that thing works. But basically just gonna keep myself busy doing my YouTube, my wax business, and then of course working when I can at the other. But I hope everyone is doing well. I hope your summer is going great. I'm hoping I can get my backside in gear so I can enjoy summer a little. But I've also got to find a way to compensate for my income. But hopefully next WIP and chat I will be like, I figured it out. That's my goal. So yeah, thanks for hanging out with me for today's WIP and chat, and until next time, take care. Bye now.